Oh man, I think it's been quite some time, right? Just a little bit of a self reminder in case I forget. I will most likely will forget. You stopped doing wish lists or wish she didn't exist. Other videos for Nikkes, mostly because Shipto's been fucking up. That self reminder over. Hello, by the way. So this is going to be a little bit of a follow up video from Jesus, back in March, I guess. February, maybe. March, I guess, when I actually started printing this. Um, I did a video on wishlist or wish she didn't exist for Diesel. I did say wishlist. Wishlist was really, really good. She's amazingly good beforehand. In Treasure, Diesel is what I would consider to be neutral positive. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way now. Neutral positive means that she's okay with the upgrades that she has gotten. Positivity around, but there's some extra added shit that just seems like so out of place. And I've gone through and I've looked through a couple of the Nikke videos, especially since we had some new Nikkes added, and I was thinking maybe she'll work with these and stuff like that. And in some cases it did work out fairly well, but it was just fucking weird, odd why they would do that. So in case you aren't fully aware, Treasure System's right up here. That's the new wallpaper that comes along with the Treasure System. This is the treasure that you get. I'm not going to do a whole thing about what treasure is, how to get the treasures, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a short summary. Basically, the Treasure System started back around June. I don't remember since then because I've been blank this entire time. I only now just remembered something happened and I wasn't in the hospital, so there's that. So a little bit curious about what happened. No scars on my body. I'm a little bit heavier, so I guess I was still eating. Anyway, the whole treasure system, in my opinion, has kind of gotten... It's whatever, to be 100% honest. It's let's go ahead and take a look at the basic skills. So this is what you look like whenever you have an SSR or SR doll. The basic skills that come along with it. This is pretty much copy and paste onto every single Nikke out there that has an SR doll, with a copy and paste of every single defense that goes up there. As far as I'm aware of, it only goes up to level 4. That fucking sucks. Maximum ammo capacity is for only machine gunners, and I think if you look at it from a base stat point of view, it's like what, 30 extra rounds, 27, something like that, which isn't really all that impressive, to be entirely honest with you. It kind of looks like maybe those 20 extra bullets are what's going to help compensate for the loss of bullets that you're going to be using for spool up time. Every other Nikke happened to have gotten the damage stat in some degree. Submachine gun, shotguns, and assault rifle Nikke's got like damage multiplier for normal attacks. Snipers and rockets got a multiplicative damage multiplier for charge damage. So this is relatively terrible in the whole grand scheme of things. First of all, max cover HP. There are bosses that literally destroy cover in one attack, so that's fucking largely useless. Covers, at least in my personal opinion, rarely being damaged. My Nikkes get damaged first before the cover does. This cover is just plain fucking terrible. The damage taken, however, is not too terrible. However, I have not noticed any kind of significant damage reduction except on Diesel, but Diesel is Diesel. The defense plus is kind of like a double take. It seems kind of redundant. It's kind of weird why it even exists, to be entirely honest with you. Like I said, every single Nikke got a copy and paste of these 3 main skills right here, and then they had their own thing right here. Again, machine gunners get maximum ammo capacity. I really feel like they should have actually done a little bit much more to really get rid of the defense, because honestly, I think shift up's just fucking with us by this point, with defense being really anything. Well, let me put it this way. Diesel actually does have a little bit of a defensive mechanic that actually helps reduce the amount of damage. And she heals from it, and she does other things like taunt, as well as do a little bit of a supportive thing. So this, in my opinion, is relatively okay for Diesel. The cover HP is who gives a fuck, and the damage taken is okay for Diesel. Everybody else, I guess. I feel like this really should have been like max ammo capacity at least up to 20%. At least 20%. The defense really should have been something along the lines like reduced spool up time. You know, this is a very light thought put into it. I don't even think Shift Up really is thinking anymore by this point. So there's that. You do have to actually get to phase 15 in order to actually get this favorite item thing going. So there's that. Trying to figure out what else I needed to explain. Right. So you only need to put 2 stars into the to the bond. So you have to be bond level 30 in order to actually get the favorite item thing started, which means you only need to recruit Diesel 3 times, not 4 times to max limit breaker. You can check out the treasure. I want to say has information up here that will give you some pretty good idea. As you can see, the maximum is 15 and bond level 30. Yes, and the SR item has to be up to level 15. Cannot be a level R item, has to be level, has to be SR, has to be level 15. Best of luck to you, because that shit's really fucking terrible. They look like these little dolls. This is, I believe, the one that... Okay, let me click on that. This is the doll that you're going to be wanting for your machine gunners. There are only 4 machine gunners. This is what it looks like. Like I said, it's just the base stats. Got really nothing really too impressive about it. When it comes down to these stats, I don't give a shit. Really, it just comes down to the raw stats that you get from the doll itself. So that's actually the most impressive part. This is just something extra. Yeah. There are 5 Nikkes as of right now that have some sort of treasure thing going on. Of course, there's only going to be 1 for Elysian, 1 for Marcellus, and of course 3 for the fucking Tetra, because why not? Shift Up only gives a fuck about Tetra by this point. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not really all that excited about this fucking game anymore. But I'd imagine that in due time they will add other things. I don't really think Diesel should have been a candidate for the whole treasure thing. Don't get me wrong, it's somewhere along the lines, yes, but Diesel was already good enough as is. She didn't really need treasure. But again, seeing a mediocre improvement, I guess, is something. So there's that. This is what the stats look like whenever it's fully maxed out. We are going to be taking a look at the stats at a maxed out level, so just I'll let you know. Whenever you start to get to the train thing, you got to remember one thing, that it does require you to have at least one of the items, at least I think, in the inventory to get it started, and you'll automatically go up to phase 1, which phase 1 starts with your burst skill, I think, right? Phase 1. It's phase 2. Oh, okay. Phase 1. Phase 1 starts with skill 2. That's... How did I miss that? This is actually pretty good. Phase 1 was actually the best phase to actually get started with it. But in order to get an item, we would probably say take... Well, we can go to... I don't think I've actually pulled my shit yet, so we'll go to the outpost. I'll show you. You do have to actually do a little bit of a thing here at the academy, which I believe is the last 2 academy classes. And like 5 Nikke slots. Yeah, okay, so I think it's... Okay, so I think it starts with class J, which you get 5 more slots added to your synchro slot, which you fucking do. Don't really care. Doesn't do anything for me. You'll start getting these dispatch missions for your collection items, and then you'll have to go up to K, and then you'll get... This is so fucking pointless. Jesus Christ. And then you'll get the dispatch range for more collection items, and then you'll get more probabilities for dispatch items for collection, and then you'll get 5 more slots, and then you get range of collection items that you can actually do. This is fucking pointless. This gives you much more advanced missions for your collection items, and then you get to have the favorite item collection going. So you'll spend roughly around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million credits. Yeah. I say the SI is kind of pointless, mostly because it's like, oh cool, you improve the rewards, I still don't get a fucking thing. But in case you're wondering, the dispatch list does actually increase to 5, whereas your cap was actually probably at 10 if you go here to your infrastructure core. Well, let me see, chip info. Dispatch cap it increases to 7. You have a base of 3, so that's 10. So there you go. And then the other dispatch items that you get, the additional 5 come from the favorite item collection, which is part of the lesson in your dispatch. You get these 4 other ones right here, which comes at a regular different range. So you can plainly see the probability of you actually getting your special dispatch items. You'll get maintenance items, you'll get the intermediate dispatch maintenance items, you get the elite, and then you'll get the cases here that have a chance to grant you random assortment of shit. It's most likely these. This is what I've been getting the most of. And you'll get these, which again, most likely you'll get these. That's, take a look at the probability and chance of getting something. Yeah, fun. Then you'll get these collection box, collects up to 200, similar to like a T9 gear, and then afterwards, when you got 200, you'll roll for it. When you roll for it, you'll have a chance to get one of these. The probability is, of course, heavily weighted into the SRs right here, or the Rs right here. I've never gotten anything SR wise, so I've kind of actually stopped giving a shit. But let's talk about diesel, because I want to give you my personal input, my personal opinion, and I'm just going to go ahead and just finish this little follow-up of it, because I said I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. Favorite items. Yeah. Actually, let's take a look at it from a max standpoint. So first things first, skill 2. I think it's probably got the best skill improvement out of everything when it came to this whole entire favorite item thing. I could have swore it started with this and then it worked its way up to this, but I went from phase 1 to phase 2 immediately, and then I had to wait like 20 more days so I can get to phase 3. So in case you're probably wondering, when it comes to collection items, you'll spend no time in phase 1. In phase 2, you'll probably have already had collection items going, which you'll need 50 of. And then in order to get to phase 3, you need 110 of the favorite items. Grand total of 160. And now if you do the math in this dispatch, and you don't factor in the solo raids rewards, you'll be spending roughly around 53.3 days collecting items in order to actually fully max out a Nikke favorite item. This is a marathon, folks. It's not intended to be done in one day. It can be proven otherwise. But the thing about the solo raids is that they have recently added Viper into it. So that's 5 treasure Nikkes. And in case you aren't fully aware about this, whenever you do a treasure item, it allows you to do treasure items specifically for a Nikke, or you can just have them go on a dispatch mission for a whatever kind of item. It'll be a mixture of, say, something for Laplace, something for Exia, something for Diesel, and most likely it'll be like 2 items for Exia, 1 item for Diesel, and no items for anybody else. You know, that's how it works. And the solo raids, because now it's been included Viper, you have less of a chance to get the favorite item that you want for your Nikke. So I would highly recommend not really worrying too much about getting your favorite items through solo raids. You can, however, get your doll through solo raid. I guess I might as well just go ahead and get the stupid thing out of the way and show everyone. Your favorite doll can be acquired so long as you finish the final challenge, and from here you can pick whatever one you want. You want the assault rifle, the machine guns, the rocket launchers, you pick whoever one you want. This is how you can actually guarantee getting yourself one, but you have to be strong enough to beat through all the phases of solo raid. So this is the final reward. The collection items. Oops, no. Material. Right. So you can see these are the items for maintaining the kit. You'll most likely get more of these. I retardedly kept getting a shitload of these. I am working on Laplace, and I have finished Diesel, and I don't give any fucks about the other 2 Nikkes. Just, I don't fucking care. This is the collection box. Like I said, you have a chance of actually getting something from here. More than likely, it's going to be this. I've kind of stopped giving a shit about rolling on that because I want up getting garbage from that. So Diesel's treasure, at least in my opinion, has moderate improvement. I just feel so fucking weird. So anyway, Sweet Strawberry Goodness goes from, this is what it looks like from initially, from when you start out with, and this is what it looks like afterwards whenever you get the treasured effect item. Can you already see what's wrong with this fucking thing already? I can totally see it. So the big deal about this, in case you aren't looking from here to here, is that it now requires 30 less bullets to actually land to build a stack, which means that you went from needing over 1,000 rounds whenever you are building for infinite ammo diesel, depending if you are building for that. If not, then whatever. This doesn't really matter to you. But when it comes to needing 1,000 rounds in order to actually build up 10 stacks and then having them cleared, you now only need 700 rounds. This is assuming, of course, you're landing every single shot, which you're not. So just always think that you're going to be needing 50 more rounds than that. This is a big deal. This is a very, very big deal. This is awesome. I like the fact that it no longer requires a little bit much more time to actually do this, but this is much more. I can reroll stats that otherwise I probably wouldn't want to reroll for ammo, because diesel can do infinite ammo, so there's that. I think this is a really, really good thing. This is awesome. This is like the best thing out of Diesel's favorite items collection ever. Wow. So this is actually pretty good, especially since if you happen to have Nikkes that are like machine gunners, submachine gunners, or assault rifles with at least a relatively double or triple the amount of ammo that they originally started with, they will more than likely keep up with Diesel, never have to reload, always have a full magazine and everything like that. I do have a few videos out there that from Tetra Tribe and as well as the boss fights and stuff like that, but not Tetra Tribe, just from the Tribe Towers. I don't have any video footage I'm going to be throwing up, more than likely, mostly because I don't care. This is just supposed to be something really quick and something a little bit more of my personal thoughts. The reload is still the same, no matter how you look at it. It's always still the same thing. You'll reach this a little bit faster, thanks to it now only requiring 70 shots instead of 100 shots. This is the neutral positive I would say when it comes to this. This is an extra effect that was added on top of Strawberry Goodness. Pierce damage. First and foremost, Diesel does not pierce in any way, shape, or form. The only pierce Nikkes that, as far as I'm aware of, that are in this game that do pierce are snipers. With the other one being Neve, who is a shotgunner, who has two rounds of pierce, and that's it. So a majority of them are snipers. Burst from Snow White and I want to say from Maxwell are also applicable to this. It's just, again, Maxwell's already a sniper who has no pierce, but Burst will pierce, which is like, who fucking cares? Who really fucking cares? That's my thing. Pierce Nikkes that can reliably pierce when it comes to the sniper department are Red Hood, Haran, and Nihilister. And then you have somebody like Alice who has piercing, but it's a hard condition. You have to maintain it. If you don't maintain it, then you otherwise have a relatively who gives a shit sniper Nikke. I forgot who else. D Killer Wife also has a sniper part as well. The thing is, though, she has to land 3 fully charged shots. I think 3 fully charged shots in order to actually get release 1 bullet for Pierce. So Red Hood really is the only Nikke that will totally benefit from this sort of thing. And Red Hood is actually in my main team composition, which consists of Noise, Emma, Noise, Modernia, Emma, Noise, Diesel, Diesel, and Red Hood. So this actually works out pretty well for my current team. However, when it comes to snipers, I'm not going to be putting Diesel in with D and then Diesel and then Red Hood and then, who is it, Haran or Nihilister, because that just seems ridiculous. It seems kind of stupid. And the thing is, though, it's a very viable option. The problem is why does this fucking exist on Diesel? It just doesn't need to. Diesel's a machine gunner, a tank machine gunner at that. Why didn't she get like something for machine guns? Like, I don't know, boost the ammo capacity for all Nikkes for 15 seconds. Even though that would have been mediocre, but I think this would have actually been a much more sustainable thing anyway because of what she does. She reloads ammo. If she had something very similar to that of Noir, where she increases ammo capacity and refills the ammo, that would have been amazing. This could have been along the lines of like increase ammo capacity plus reload the ammo that you actually get. That would have been amazing. That would have been awesome. Instead, we get pierce damage for no fucking reason. Lasts for 10 seconds, which is actually really good. But there's only a handful of Nikkes that make use of pierce. Granted that this is probably like something along the lines like some buddy at Shift Up is like, well, we're gonna be adding more Pierce in the future anyway, so this will be like already there. But the thing is, though, there's already Nikkes out there that probably are going to be doing Pierce. There's already a Nikke that's going to be coming out that's going to be dedicated Pierce. I think her name is Zoe? Z-Way? Zay? I don't know. I don't care. The schoolgirl from Juvenile Days, she's going to be coming out anyway. I think tomorrow, I think. Doesn't really matter. The time of the video, whatever. This is so fucking pointless to have on Diesel. It doesn't hurt her in any way, shape, or form. But at the exact same time, why does this exist? Now, I could, yes, put her in a party with, say, D Killer Wife, Red Hood, and Nihilister, and Diesel, and then I could have somebody else in there, probably like Snow White or whoever. I don't care, just guessing. And all of them would almost benefit from Pierce to a certain degree. Still, this seems absolutely pointless to have on Diesel. It doesn't hurt her, doesn't do anything amazing, but presuming, of course, that you're not using this with Red Hood, but you are using this with other sniper Nikkes that do have piercing capabilities. You do have increased ammo capacity. This could, in theory, keep all the sniper Nikkes have full ammo, by the way, because of how quick Diesel can build up a stack. This is, of course, depending on your system, your frame rate, and everything like that. But this is so weird. This doesn't need to exist. This should have been something else. Phase 2. Okay, so I looked at this and I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is bad. And in a way, it is kind of bad. If you are upgrading Diesel, I would highly recommend you wait until you have the 160. Otherwise, this is going to be really, really fucking bad. And presuming, of course, that you're not full bursting. If you are not full bursting, Diesel will most likely be taunting without any kind of damage mitigation or HP regeneration. This is very important to remember that, but do you. In case you haven't noticed, the effects 5 units and then the effects 5 units with the highest attack, that's not any different. It's still the exact same thing. Way to go, Shift Up! You didn't give a fuck about that, but you know, you gave every other Nikke out there with the treasure, you know, much more love than Diesel. Then again, Diesel's not really an attacker Nikke. This could have actually been something different. Could have made it to where it affects all enemies on screen, but no, you know. Middle finger to Diesel, I guess, right? From Shift Up. Fuck you, Shift Up. Affects self. Max HP. Okay, let's skip this part. Let's go to the next one. Attract. This is a status effect that is going to be required for skill 1. Taunt all enemies for 10 seconds. This is now static. This does not change in any way, shape, or form. Whereas before you had total control of how much taunt you want to actually have on Diesel through the amount of investment in skill, this is now a static 10 seconds from phase 1, from skill 1 all the way to skill 10. It's called Attract because there's actually going to be a skill in here in phase 1 that requires you to be in Attract status. In fact, there are 2. But we'll talk about that in a few seconds. So this is now a static taunt of 10 seconds, which kind of good, kind of bad. I did say earlier that my team composition does consist of Noise, Modernia, Emma, Diesel, and Red Hood in that order. You may be thinking, well, that's kind of stupid. You got 2 taunts on the field. There's really no reason for that. And you are correct. In a boss fight, this is kind of bad. But at the exact same time, I have 2 Nikkes that are taunting. One that is capable of healing herself every 2 seconds, and then a Nikke that can heal herself, mitigate damage, pull taunt for 10 seconds, and pull all the pressure onto her, and then I could put pressure back on the other Nikke. So in a way, I have an idea of what I'm doing. There's main tanking, off tanking. No, I don't know jack shit about raiding in World of Warcraft. I just remember I did a lot of tanking and then off tanking. So in a way, this does actually work out fairly well. In a general stage clearing composition, this actually works out fairly well as well because Noise is pulling bulk of units for herself and then re-taunting to her while Diesel's pulling the other taunt to her. So there's pressure that's being relieved everywhere on the field, and not one Nikke is being piled on. So this works out fairly well. I've worked out the whole entire thing. I got the system going. But for 10 whole seconds, this is kind of bad, especially if you're not entering the full burst. However, if you are entering the full burst, it's not really a big deal. But if you are not entering into full burst because your burst 3 got shot in the forehead by a driver, the sniper rapture, and killed it, and now you're stuck with Diesel, who has no way of entering the full burst, that's bad. The other thing is you have Sentry that completely locked down the Nikke that you wanted to burst with. So now you have a Nikke that's taunt, no damage mitigation, and no health regeneration. Or you got hit by electric balls, and believe you me, there are raptors out there that literally like flood one Nikke with electric balls that completely stun her for like a large portion of the time. When she comes out of stun, she gets hit by another ball that's probably on the way over. That's going to put her back in stun. So this is a bad thing. This is a relatively bad thing all around when it comes to this sort of thing. This is why I say wait until you have the full entire thing. Which, yes, it's 160 fucking days. Or 160 things, which is about 50 days. It's totally worth it. But if you are not worried about lockdown, easy snipe from the head, or any kind of unfortunate scenes of stuns or something like that, then you can still do this. It's still manageable without having to be in phase 3. Phase 1's totally 100% go for that. That's skill 2 is really, really super important. But taunt is actually kind of bad when it comes to this sort of thing. But if you're still reliably entering into full burst, you're not being locked down, shot in the head, or completely stunned, this is totally okay. Presuming, of course, that you are bursting with Diesel. Let's talk about the extra effect that came along with it. Max HP increases 105% of max HP. That is like amazing. Oh, without restoring HP for 10 seconds. Well, that's just, what the fuck. So I've been racking my brain on this sort of thing. And the only thing that came to mind is fucking PvP. That's it. That's the whole entire thing why I can't think of why they would put you with a shitload of HP but wouldn't restore it in the process. Because of PvP. That's it. That's the only thing I can think of. In the PvE world, it's not really terrible. In the PvP world, I can see it that it can probably pull Diesel completely out of danger and completely restore her HP. Here's the thing, and I think somebody at Shift Up probably doesn't realize this, but she's gonna regenerate HP anyway. Now, again, I just said that, and you'd be like, well, you just said it yourself. She's gonna regenerate HP anyway. Yes, okay, sure. Why don't you just eat your food and then throw it up later? In fact, why don't you just throw your food on the fucking floor and skip the whole eating and throwing it up in the first place? Just cut out the middleman. Just throw it on the fucking floor. This seems so kind of pointless. Again, it's a giant amount of HP gained. Where I am now with Noise on the team plus Diesel, and I think she has about like 84% or 89% increase. I don't know. I don't really care. It goes from like having roughly around like 2 million points of HP to 3 to 4 million points of HP. And then if I burst with Noise, I have roughly around 5 million points of HP. Which means Diesel is an extremely hard target to take down, which is really awesome. In the PvP world, this sucks. In the PvE world, however, this rocks. It still sucks. Again, you're getting a large amount of HP just without restoring, but you're still going to get that HP restored anyway because Diesel A is taunting, B regenerating HP from the tickle damage that will be happening to her, and she has damage mitigation that will otherwise reduce the amount of damage, so you'll more than likely gain HP over losing HP. So I don't understand why Shift Up seems to think that they needed to put this without restoring HP. It's still going to happen. You're still going to get HP regenerated. It just seems like it's such an extra step that just didn't need to exist. It's literally a middleman that doesn't need to be there. You could just give her the max HP and restore it in the same time. It would have been perfectly fine. It's temporary HP. It lasts for 10 seconds and it goes away after the end of burst. I have a hard time understanding why this even exists. And then I started thinking a little bit more. Oh, I forgot. Mast and I think Aid. You know what? I've been meaning to look this up, and I'm going to look this up now. Hello, come on. Fucking Jesus Christ. Aid. However, because I don't fucking give a shit for Tetra. Let's see. Activates when own HP falls about 90%. Okay. 420 rounds. That's funny. Let's see. 120 rounds for activates all allies. Let's see. Hang on. Activates after 120 normal attacks. Affects all allies. Max HP is increased by 15.60% of caster's max HP without restoring HP. Lasts for 5 seconds. Hang on. I gotta read this rest of it. Gain debuff immunity. Stacks 1 time continuously. Affects all allies. Okay, I think this is what I'm looking at. Max HP, 25 without restoring HP. Increases attack. Okay, so this is another thing I'm having a hard time understanding too, because I thought she actually had a similar thing to Mast. Why in the fuck are you giving more HP without restoring HP? This is retarded. I'm literally having a hard time. I think this is probably what I could think of right here is why you would want to increase the HP. Okay, so this is the part I was thinking about. Activates when own HP falls below 90%, affects all allies. But that only affects her. So it only works for her. So, okay. Now let's look at Mast. Because Mast has a very similar ability as well. But I think it has to affect her first. Activates when HP falls below 70%, affects self and 2 other allies. Activates when 2 other allies the highest attack. Okay, affect up to highest attack, restoring HP without causing HP, and what in the fuck, dude? What is going on with that? Okay, so again, this kind of falls back to what I said about why the fuck does that even exist? And again, as I stated earlier, and I think this is just really the reason why, it's for PvP reasons. I mean, this improving max HP, Diesel or Noise does this, where whenever every 2 seconds she hits taunt, and she gets about a certain amount of HP that increases her all max HP, but it also restores HP. And then the HP that gets increased gets lost, but the HP that got restored with it does not. So this doesn't make any sense. You're gonna get that HP restored anyway, which again, I do realize what I'm saying. But at the exact same time, cut out the fucking middleman. There's no point for this. There's no point in having 100% of your overall HP, which is what, like 50%? You're putting her below 50%, which I want to say there's probably a Nikke out there that does capitalize on this sort of thing, where if they have a certain amount of HP below a certain amount of HP, they get dealt extra damage or something like that. Again, I'm probably thinking something else. And I'm pretty sure there might be a Raptor out there, but we don't have a Raptorpedia. Thanks, Shift Up. Let's focus more on Tetra. Fuckers. But this doesn't make any sense. So you're giving her max HP. You're not restoring it. It's going to get restored anyway through the damage that she's going to be pulling from taunt. So this just cut off the middleman. Just put the fucking HP with the restore HP. This seems so stupid. And the only thing I could think of is, well, that would make her really strong in PvP. But people are using Scarlet and Jackal to counter machine guns, assault rifles, submachine guns. You really fucking think she's gonna stand up a chance against this? I can tell you this much from personal experience. When I tried it, it didn't fucking work. So I don't see this. They needed to cut out the fucking middleman. Just give her max HP, restore it. This seems so fucking stupid. Really, really fucking stupid. Nobody at Shift Up is thinking anyway, so. That was the neutral. That was a neutral. I wouldn't say it's positive, but it's neutral. At least this doesn't really harm her. It doesn't do anything, but it's a potential harm in the future if there's a Nikke or a Raptor that capitalizes on a Nikke having a certain amount of HP below a certain percentage. Not a certain amount of HP, but percentile. Strawberry Fields. Jesus. So this actually did get a little bit reworded. Unfortunately, this still requires you to be in full burst right here. Again, assuming of course you're still entering in full burst, isn't really too terrible, but still. Activates when entering into full burst, increases your overall defense. It's the same thing, nothing's really changed. Affects when attacked in the track status, which again, if you don't know what that track status is the taunt. This is the new status effect that gets applied to her. And this makes it to where she regenerates HP whenever she's in attack status. So if you have phase 2 and phase 3 together, it now synergizes. So this is a positive thing. You now have taunt plus this. You now have the HP that gains with it, the pointless amount of HP gain with it. Plus you have the HP regeneration that goes along with the taunt. So this is a big positive thing. This is much more of a synergizing skill that works together, and we're no longer requiring you to be in full burst. Still need to turn into full burst in order to get the damage mitigation. Again, you have the taunt, you have the HP regeneration, some form of health regeneration, but you don't have the damage mitigation. In a way, you kind of do, thanks to the treasured item, which reduces the amount of damage taken, plus the defense that also comes with it. And you could also probably put in with the new stupid cube that gives you damage reduction, damage taken. That'll probably stack. And then you have the defensive cube that, again, stacks with defensive stuff. So in a way, if you put the cube on there, you don't have to worry about entering the full burst. But this is okay. This is what I like about it. It now synergizes with itself. It's a skill that synergizes with itself, now no longer requiring you to be into full burst, like it says here, but you instead only need to be into full burst to get the defensive bonus, which you can always just, get that through armor or cubes or some other Nikke that gives you a buff. This now synergizes with taunt, which means you do have some form of way to mitigate some damage. Whenever you enter in full burst, you'll have even much more effective way of mitigating damage. Plus with the toy that gives you much more defensive plus damage taken, this is okay. This is okay. I'm all right with this little change right here. It is totally okay. And I think this, in my opinion, should have been phase 1. Or this phase 2 should have been phase 1. This should have been phase 3. Sadly, phase 1 should have been phase 3. I would hate for that to happen, especially since this is an incredible skill. This is like the best thing out of Diesel. But this is okay. But this is why I say, if you are reliably entering into full burst, you don't have to worry about this. But if you're not, if some of your Nikkes are being taken out before you can enter into full burst, or you're being stunned, you're being locked down by sentry, electric bolts, or just got completely one-shotted by driver, then this is a bit of a problem. So you got to remember that. But again, you're entering into full burst, you'll be okay. So the fact that this now synergizes with the burst skill, I'm okay with. It's totally positive. It's all around positivity, I would say. Here's the neutral one. Fucking Christ. Activates after landing 150 normal attacks, and attract status effects on your stuff. Increases the stack of stackable buffs by 1. So let me get this. Make sure this is clear. Again, I probably should have some video footage. I had over 196 gigabytes worth of video footage that I wanted to put it together back in April. That's when Shift Up started hard focusing on nothing but Tetra and shitty ass collaborations. And I had said, fuck it, I'm kind of done with Nikke, and I'll only upload stuff that probably is going to be only remotely interesting. I think just Tribe Towers and stuff is now I'm doing. I used to have like a whole bunch of stuff that I really wanted to do, and then Shift Up just said, fuck it, we're doing Tetra only. Tetra shotguns, and that's it. Shitty ass collaborations. So what this does is that if you are on PC, you will more than likely see this proc probably twice. Probably more than twice, but I've not really kept tabs on this. So the wording on this seems like, oh, it increases from stack 10 to 11? That's bad. No, it just increases stack from 9 to 10. And then it resets. So I get that looks like it's worded like it's supposed to increase the stack count. It doesn't. Think of it this way. Whenever she builds up to 70 shots, she builds a stack. And then if you happen to burst with Diesel and you get this right here, 70 shots will build a stack, 70 more shots will build another stack, the next 10 shots will build another stack on top of that, and then you have like 3 stacks going. So this kind of works out very similar to how Guilty does build up her own stack, where she builds up a stack after 6 shots, she builds up another stack after 6 shots, but at 12 shots she builds up another stack because she has an ability that increases all wind-coated allies stacking to 1, and that's it. If it stacks up to anything higher than that, then it just refreshes the cooldown rate or the buff rate. In this particular case, this just means that skill 1 or skill 2 right here just means that this will build up even twice as fast because of this ability right here. It doesn't mean it'll increase its stack count from like 10 to 11. That's not what it does. Believe you me, I've done some testing. It doesn't work that way. As far as I'm aware of, it would be really, really bad if it did that, because you don't want to increase the stack. You want to build up the stack as fast as you possibly can. So that way you don't waste so much ammo trying to build a stack. You want that refill of ammo. You want that free refill of ammo for Diesel, and you want to reload everyone's bullets and magazines as fast as you possibly can, because infinite ammo. Infinite ammo is a very, very definite positive thing. It's a very real thing that can happen. But that means that you no longer have to worry too much about having heavy investment into max ammo capacity, presuming, of course, that you are using only Diesel. But even still, Diesel being able to build up a stack from 1 to 2 to 3, 4, and then 5, and 6, 7, 8, and then 9, then 10, and then starts all over again. If she's able to build up a full stack within full burst, that's incredibly good. Because then that means nobody is having to wait to reload in the middle of full burst, where full burst happens. Full burst is where all your damage comes into play. This is where buffs come into play. This is where everyone gets that 10-second buff for 10 seconds through full burst. This is where everything comes into play. More damage. Everything that DPSs, full control over your entire team, being able to break that entire circle from a Gravedigger or Harvest or whoever, being able to constantly lay in DPS into a target that required a shitload of damage being dealt to it through your Union raid or solo raid, you know, that sort of thing. This actually is a relatively positive thing. Out of all the extra effects that got added through all these phases, this is the only one I don't think I had too much of a serious problem with, mostly because it's just a positive thing. This means that Diesel no longer needs to be in a party with Pepper or Guilty, which means that she's not only building stacks faster, but she has something that Diesel something that Guilty and Pepper will help Diesel do, and that's build a stack faster. She can now build her own stack faster, and then even more faster, without needing Guilty or Pepper. Now, when I put them into a group, and I was doing some testing into the shooting range, I did notice that Guilty was kind of not really giving a stack to Diesel sometimes, mostly because Diesel was building stacks so fast that it was kind of like, by the time she needed to build a stack, the little buff that she would give to her wouldn't even matter, because Diesel would have just wiped out that stack and then built up another stack. So yes, in a way, this still does work with Pepper and Guilty, and it works really, really well. Problem is, you have to be into burst with Diesel in order to actually get this. So this only works with Diesel when she bursts. Not enter to full burst, but when she bursts. So overall, I would say that this whole entire thing right here, this now synergizing with the burst skill, is really, really good. This, however, is a big fucking middleman that doesn't even exist. This right here, however, what in the fuck is this? This really should have been a Noir ability. Let's take a look at Noir, and I'll show you. Just to give an example, just in case you don't know who Noir is. Oh. Oops. So, yes, this is what it looks like whenever... Oops. Okay, so when you don't have the favorite item, this is what it looks like. When you have the favorite item, this is what it looks like. What the hell? Oh. Info. Okay. So this is what it looks like when you have the favorite item, which, you know, it's just a new change of wallpaper. It's relatively nice. I think all the Nikkes that are favorite items, they do get some wallpaper. Right, Noir. Let's take a look at Noir. This is what I was thinking that it should have been, actually. It should have increased overall maximum ammo capacity for all allies for 10 seconds, sure. And it should have reloaded all the ammo that comes along with it. This is the only thing. When it comes to temporary ammo increase, this is the only thing that makes total sense. Because you're increasing ammo capacity and you're refilling that ammo for that temporary ammo to use. Leader, I think, has something very similar to it. Nihilister and somebody else. Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head. Leader's the worst out of all of them because it only increases ammo capacity by... Oh, let's take a look. I do actually have Leader. I did finally get her through social recruitment, which I don't really care. She's not really all that amazing. And max ammo capacity of 28.3% for 5 seconds. For 5 measly fucking seconds. The thing is, though, whenever you are bursting with a Leader, more than likely, your ammo is not even fucking getting there to reload fast enough for you to use that. So this is a fucking waste. But the fact that Noir has a very sensible skill that makes a whole lot of sense, increases ammo capacity, and it refills that ammo, the temporary ammo that got, that makes almost sense. You give this to Diesel instead of the pierce damage, suddenly it makes a lot more sense. Temporarily increase the overall ammo capacity and then reload it. That makes a lot of sense. It really does. But this is just so fucking stupid. This is so incredibly pointless. So pointless. This did not fit Diesel whatsoever. I don't know. Again, this is my personal opinion. I've played with Diesel. I've used Diesel. Diesel has literally been with me since I've been able to get her from way down here all the way to literally up here. At one point, she was number one for about almost a good couple of weeks, and then, you know, I started getting everybody else a little bit more dolls. Everybody started getting improvement. But I went from 310, I think it was the last time I think I did that, and I think Diesel was probably sitting around 43k. From going from 43k to where she is now to 121k, she doesn't even have maxed armor or maxed skills whatsoever. She has a relatively okay cube. That's actually the new cube the relatively new cube, the defensive cube. And it works. To getting max limit break, max spawn rating, and the toy, going from 43k up to 121k, that's a really big deal. So yes, in a way, I think the new trinket system for Diesel is relatively okay in the whole grand scheme of things. Just that one skill just does not seem to need to be existing. It just doesn't. The middleman here needs to be cut out, and this is actually relatively okay. This is a very good, fine example of Shift Up not even knowing their own fucking game. Yeah. But the normal skills, the taunt, this is probably the best thing that has ever happened to Diesel right here. And then this right here now synergizing with the taunt, with the burst. That's actually a much more big improvement. All in all, I think the base skills for Diesel with the massive was pretty big improvement, large improvement, which means that I can finally try get rid of some ammo capacity, probably put in something like crit rate and crit damage plus attack, and I still be sitting pretty with ammo and ammo regeneration. Just the middleman from that one skill needs to be cut, and the crit damage. That's it. Get your shit together, Shift Up. Seriously, who the fuck is doing any thinking whatsoever now? I don't know. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. I do realize that's been a relatively long time of me talking, and you don't have to listen to it. Don't worry too much about it. I just thought I'd give you a little personal insight on this. How this all works out fairly well with the new Diesel. I do like it. Again, Diesel was already a strong enough Nikke as is. Giving her a treasure item and greatly improving her overall combat capacity, as well as improving her overall support capabilities, is relatively okay. I will say this, though. I am making use of that pierce damage through this team composition, which if you don't know how it works, it goes from Noise on the very far right, or far left, then Modernia, Emma, Diesel, and then Red Hood. So the fact that I have 3 machine gunners here, and Diesel is actually reloading the ammo capacity for all of these machine gunners right here, which means that I'm never actually stopping to reload, unless there happens to be some jackass boss that jumps around a shitload, does a lot of teleporting, which does happen. It will happen. 4 out of the 5 Nikkes here are actually getting ammo refilled, which means that they're never reloading. Modernia here is actually infinite ammo all the time. Emma is always infinite ammo as well, and Diesel is always infinite ammo. The only one here who's not actually getting the infinite ammo treatment is Red Hood. And the reason being is because I don't really have Red Hood built up to have a whole lot of max ammo capacity. I really would like to have that. Just the main problem is this is the only one I think that actually did get the ammo capacity increase, but that's it. I have no good luck when it comes to getting shit that I actually want, and I get shit that I don't need. But she's able to burn through all of her ammo really super fast, so that's why she doesn't get the infinite ammo treatment. But every other Nikke that I have here has at least some form of increased ammo capacity. So yeah, not you, fuck you. She has increased ammo capacity. I did get rid of that charge speed one, so now she has more ammo. I think she's up to around 16 rounds, I think, which greatly works because having her and her on the same team, you got one that's pulling everything to her, and then you have one that's like taking a little bit of taunt here and there off some raptors, which means there's not one pressured Nikke. There's just like two Nikkes, one main taunt, one off taunt, one main tank, one off tank. So there's that. I think she doesn't have ammo. Yeah, I've been re-rolling her shit. I need to get rid of. This is the one I've been trying to get rid of. This is the one I wanted to keep because it has triple stats, but the way the stats work in this game. Anyway, that's actually my main crew for the time being, and it works out super well. Right now I'm at chapter 20 where I'm trying to actually beat Nihilister, but combat power deficiency is making it a little bit harder. So at one point I was at 597k power, and I was going up against raptors that are at least 100k more than me. So with the way this new setup goes, where I'm never having to reload, constantly DPSing, yeah, Treasure Diesel, 100%. I would totally recommend going for Treasure Diesel. If you were to ask me as of right now, as of August of 2024, I would believe Laplace actually received the best treasure treatment. Diesel kind of got something a little bit better. And then the other ones, there's, was it Freema Exia and Viper? I don't fucking care for them. First of all, snipers that don't have Pierce are not really worth my time. Especially since now that Pierce damage is now becoming a thing with the new Nikke that's going to be coming out. And then you got Diesel here who gives Pierce damage increase. Having no Pierce means, just, what the fuck does this skill have? It's just dead for the time being until I put her in what's dead with almost a large portion of the Nikke. Suddenly it's like having element boost. So yeah, Treasure Diesel. Again, no footage, no anything. I've kind of stopped caring really too much about DK. So until they actually do a better job of actually balancing the game, which they fucking won't, this is probably the last time I think I'll probably do something like that. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Treasure Diesel. Overall, positive with a little bit more neutrality.